Hi everyone, so for my workshop I'm going to be showing you how to use the open source game design program Twine. Open source is when the software is completely free, so this is free to use, and it's also a low-code system. This means that it doesn't require that much coding experience, but it is kind of beneficial when you do have some coding experience just for understanding. But I wanted to show you the game I created, which is Twine. It's called the Iron John story. As you can see, I have an image here, and I scroll down. I have audio here, so if I press this, you can actually hear the audio.
The Iron John story. Once upon a time, there was a fierce and mighty king.
So I'm actually going to mute my computer from now on, so then we won't have any noise coming in. But as you can see, there's audio. So I'm going to press this, which is start your journey. So now we can go to the next area. So this is more information that's required for this game. And I'm just wanting to just go to where we can actually make decisions. And this is where we're going to make the decision. So if you choose this one, for instance, this is the bad choice. So when you get a chance, you have to choose one of these, and then you basically fail and you can't go to the next level. But if you choose another one, oh, and these are backspaces, so this is how you can go back in the game. If you choose one of the top ones, you can actually, it always goes to this page, but you can always get this extra one, which sends you forth onto the story. So as you can see, decisions matter in this game. So what I'm going to show you when it comes to decisions and Twine in of itself, I'm going to show you a couple of things. I'm going to show you how to add images, how to add audio, and how to make decisions in the game. I can't show you everything because there's so many elements to it, but I would like to just give you a little basic understanding of the game. So let's go to the platform itself. This is Twine. So I have a couple of different stories already made. As you can see, this is the Iron John story. That's the one I just showed you. And this is a test, so in order to delete the test, I don't need it, so I just delete it, and that's how you delete something. This is how you can add a brand new story, but I'm not going to do that right now. I'm going to go into Iron John just to show you what it can look like. So this is how big a game, it can be so much bigger, but these are all little passages. So each of these passages is a scene that goes to the next episode, not episode, but the next page, basically. And these are all connected. So, of course, I'm not going to go through these different elements just because they're too complicated and you don't really, that's not necessary. So I made a whole new game for you all. So I'm going to go to a new story. So this is taking a trip. I checked this out and everything like that, and it all works properly. So I made a starting point, and you can see the arrows make it a little easier because it's smaller. So all of my arrows, and also you have complete control on where everything goes. So let's say I want everything to go up like this, then I can make everything go up like this, and it still stays connected. It's very, very, very user-friendly in this case. So this is where I'm going to start. So as you can see right here, this is there's like little these colons around it, right? This is how you make it bold, these little guys right here. This is how you make it big with this hashtag. And this is the image coding. So the image coding is going to be a whole thing. But the basic gist of it is, in order to get access to these images, they need to be installed locally, at least in this way that I'm doing it. What it means by locally, that means that basically you have to install it into the computer itself and have it in a folder specific for it. And that's the same with audio. So I created both of this and this specifically for this this workshop. And this alternative, this is just so then you can have a written description of what the actual image is. And as you can see here, I set the variable bought gas to false because as you'll see in the story, it'll depend on the events will change depending on if you buy the gas or not, which I'll show you at the very end. But let's look at this together. So this is the first part. The second part is this. So it's very simple. And I wanted to also state that in order to get to the next passage and connect to the next passage, you just need to add these brackets right here. But you also can have control of what the actual new passage is going to be. So if you want it to be gas, which I made it gas, then you can make it gas. And that all you have to do to define that is to add this little thing right here, this little arrow. Little arrow, like a little line and arrow. And as you can see, these are two different passages. So if you don't buy gas, then it's going to bring you here, which will end up, you'll go into the same encounter. But if you do have gas, if you did buy gas, then I'm going to set this to true. And this is a variable. And the variable I'm setting to true, which means it's changing the trajectory of the story, which I'll show you right now. Basically, I'm using if-else statements, and this if, this variable, this is how you define a variable. I'm not defined, but this is how you're introducing this element right here. So if the variable is true, then this is what's going to show up. If the variable is false, then this is what's going to show up, this dialogue choice. So I'm going to, so that's basically how it is, and this is the coding for it. And I'm going to go back and show you images and audio and where they're going to be placed, but I wanted to get through this a little bit of more of a perplexing and complicated variables and everything like that. So I think I pretty much went through it. So I'm going to show you now the actual game. So this is the game I created. I added this little Florida, little car right here as an image, and I had to center it. And if we go back to Twine and go into this image, you'll see right here that I've defined it, and I've also defined the height and width of it as well, so then it's kind of perfect. I also did I also centered the entire text. So in order to do that, in order to get that kind of look, I go into Edit Story Style Sheet, and then I add text right here. This is basically TW passage. That's when it's the entire passage, and text align center. You can do left, you can do right, but it's automatically right, so I wanted it to be centered because I think it looks nicer. So in this regard, I'm going to go back to the game and show you that I added an audio too. So I'm going to just press play and show you what it sounds like. Oh, and I muted it. I was muted. Hang on.
Hello. We are going for a long ride with our whole family. Let's start this journey.
So yeah, I added audio to it and everything. But now I'm going to start the journey. I only did one image and one audio for one clip because it's just a workshop just to show everyone. But as you can see, we are driving down the road and see a gas station. We have a decent amount of gas left, but there's a long line with many cars ahead of us. Stopping for gas might take us an hour. Should we stop and get gas or just keep going? So I'm going to say let's just keep going. And so we continue on our way. And each of these are passages that I've made, so you saw kind of how everything sort of build upon the next. So it looks like it's going to be a long car ride, and oh no, the car seems to be acting funny. And now we are stranded in the middle of nowhere. So as you can see, there was a consequence because I didn't get gas. So I'm going to go back. Again, these arrows, which you can actually get rid of in coding, but I kind of like them. So let's say, let's stop and get gas. So now we actually met some really nice ladies and had a really nice chat when we were putting gas in. And if we didn't stop, we wouldn't have even met them. So now let's go to the next one. And so now I'm saying, good thing we bought some gas, and now we ended up finally making it to Universal Studios after this long drive. So it had a different outcome, and this was all because I put if and else. I defined a variable, made this false at first, made this variable false, so then it's just not changing anything. It's just going to be false until I prove it otherwise, which will make it true. Basically, when I bought gas, again, that makes it true. Okay, I just wanted to make sure everyone understands that. And then the if-else statements, which you saw here, is basically, that's why you can only see one thing at a time. So I hope that makes sense. Please let me know if you have any questions. But now I'm going to go into images. So this is, I'm going to bring up with the Iron John story. This is what it looks like here. It's going to have images. All of these images are being used in my other story, my really more advanced story. So this is the audio that's being used. And now I'm going to go to taking a trip. It's just the same exact thing. I also have this link here, but I'm going to go through the images. So these are some of the images. I was just doing these as tests, and I ended up with this trip image. And then I also had audio, and again, I was testing out some audio, and I made a new audio clip for this. This over here is a link that actually gets you to the website, the actual game itself. And how you do that is you go here, taking a trip, you press this, you publish to file, and then it brings you, and then it brings you to this. And when it brings you to this, you just replace this file with the new file that you just, basically updating it. Now, in order to actually put it on the web and everything, we need to make it into a zip file. And in order to do that, I have it right here. So I'm going to right-click this. I'm going to add to archive, and then I'm going to press zip, then I'm going to press OK. Since I've already done that, I'm going to show you. So this is what a zip file looks like. And when you open it, it's going to look like this. So you need to actually make a copy of the entire thing, of the entire folder, because of the fact that you need to have access to the audio and image. Without the audio and image, you won't get to see the audio or the images that are in the game itself. It just won't come up. So that's why when I click, this is the zip file, I'm going to click this, and you're going to see everything here that's here, excluding the zip file, because this is what's originally in the folder. So that's great. So now that we have that, I'm going to basically just copy, paste, and it's going to load. I'm just sending this one to myself, and to illustrate that it works. So right here, it works out perfect. Well, it's sent, and then I'm going to download it. I've already tested this out. I'm downloading it, and right here, and as you can see, it pops up. I'm going to press it. It's going to come up, and as you can see, it works. I have been having issues sometimes with this, like with Mac users. They might have issues with actually accessing it, especially like with images and stuff like that. It doesn't work on Firefox search engine. It does usually work on Google Chrome that I checked out. And it also works on like Internet Explorer that I've also, or Microsoft Edge I've actually checked out too. So those two work. But I haven't perfected the exporting for it to work on all computers and Macs and everything like that. So yes, if anyone knows Twine and has any advice on doing that, yeah, please let me know. And yes, thank you so much for watching, and have a great rest of your day.